CTV News with Sarah Freemark.
There's a live shot from our Toy Mountain campaign. The crew will be there until 7 o'clock tonight if you'd like to come on down with a donation. Good evening. Our quest to help families across our region continues tonight for CTV's Toy Mountain campaign. Let's head there now. That's where Luke continues our coverage. Luke, good evening to you. Where do we find you?
Yes, good evening, Sarah. Well, we are here at Tile Master on Ann Street for the Toy Mountain campaign. What a week it has been. We just launched on Monday, and the donations just keep piling on, which is a good thing. We are serving families right through the Simcoe-Muskoka region for the Simcoe-Muskoka Family Connections, and we are, like I said, officially 1 week in, which has raised millions of dollars for families in need throughout the Simcoe County and Muskoka region for more than 20 years. What a fantastic first week with donations coming in, and with your support, you will help CTV News Barrie, Pure Country 106, and Bounce 104.1, along with our community partners, build a mountain of toys this holiday season. New this year, if you can't make it to one of our live sites or a drop-off location, that's okay. You can scan our QR code. That will take you directly to our Amazon wish list where you can select an item to donate. And this year, it's more than just toys. We're also collecting personal hygiene products. If you missed us on Monday night, come on over to Tile Master tonight on Ann Street. CTV will be live until 7 o'clock right here in Barrie, and we cannot wait to continue collecting those donations to help us build that Toy Mountain. Sarah, I'm promising, I'm working on it, and we will get there eventually by the end of this campaign. I promise.
I spoke with Dana. He says you're doing him proud. Thanks very much, Luke. And you're, of course, not the only one there tonight. We'll be back with more in a bit. But we do want to remind you that you can find out more information about this year's toy campaign by heading to our website, ctvnews.ca/Barrie. You can find details on our live locations and, of course, how you can donate no matter where you are through the website or even your cell phone. Now, Kempenfest is widely referred to as Canada's, if not North America's, largest outdoor arts and crafts show. But even with that title, fighting for sponsors and revenue can be a challenge. Here's CTV's Rob Cooper on the pitch made to council to help the festival grow.
Kempenfest is Barrie's largest annual festival. After more than 50 years, Paul Markle says the event now draws tens of thousands of people annually, with an economic impact of more than $8 million, according to data from Tourism Barrie.
For 5 or 6 years in a row, we've been top 100 festival in Ontario, and you don't get that for doing things wrong.
Paul Markle is the president of the Barrie Chamber of Commerce and the chair of the Kempenfest board. He was before a committee meeting at City Hall this week, describing the challenges it's facing as a growing festival. Despite these challenges, Markle says it's a healthy event that simply needs continued support from the city.
We are still very financially viable and strong. There's really no concerns along those lines. What we're looking for is, because of the significant economic impact that the event provides back to the city, we're looking for some support.
Councillor Bryn Hamilton has raised some concerns about what financial support it may offer in the future. Earlier this week, a general committee gave initial approval to a motion that future city support for such festivals be administered through the creation of an in-kind tourism grant. For example, for next year's event, it would offer in-kind staff support for things like shuttle bus services and infrastructure on the second stage.
Washroom facilities, porta potties, those kinds of things. They've quadrupled over the span of 5 years. Costs for artists and bands, staging, all of those input costs have risen. If the city had the ability to give us some additional dollars, hopefully through the MAT tax to support our infrastructure at our community stage, then great. But if that funding wasn't available, not a problem. We would be able to survive.
Kempenfest saw an increase of about 14% in visits from last year. 25% of those who take in the event are from out of town. Rob Cooper, CTV News, Barrie.
A lot of reasons to talk about the weather tonight. Case, of course, a very big weekend ahead. And you, too, are at Toy Mountain. How's it going tonight?
Tile Master, yes, it's going very well. Tile Master here on Ann Street in Barrie, and it is going well. We're starting to see some people come in, and a little later on, we might even get inside Tile Master and see some of the collection of toys that are mounting up. Let's talk about the weather, though. First look at the forecast. Here we go, taking a look, first look that is, at the forecast, brought to you by Presler Injury Law. Call 1-800-JUSTICE. 3 degrees out here, Barrie. Are you enjoying it? Yes, 3 degrees. And the winds are out of the west, 11 kilometers an hour. They're picking up as the evening progresses. The temperature as we speak outside your glorious residence or wherever you happen to be watching right now. 4 degrees in Owen Sound, 4 degrees in Mount Forest, 4 in Newmarket, 5 in Parry Sound, 3 in Gravenhurst, 6 in Toronto, and 5 degrees in Alliston. Oh, why not throw in Collingwood too, sitting at 3 degrees. This is the radar satellite images and, all kinds of active weather. Northern part of the province, certainly the top of Georgian Bay, but we're in the southern portion of Georgian Bay. I'm looking up right now. I'm seeing some clouds. But coming up in just a few minutes' time, an early, well, it's not really that much of an early look at the weekend, is it, Case? No, it's not. A look at the weekend. Who gets sun, who gets cloud, and who stands to get a chance of snow? All that coming up in a few minutes' time. Sarah, back in the newsroom.
Community groups across the province are calling for action against Bill 60, a new bill proposed by the Ford government back in October. But what does it mean for landlords, and is it all bad news for affordability and tenants? CTV's Mike Lang reports.
With food banks already operating at capacity, the fear is now that even worse days are ahead.
When we were first made aware of the details of Bill 60, frankly, it was scary. It was terrifying to us.
The bill proposed by the provincial government includes legislation that food banks worry will expedite evictions by giving tenants less time to pay rental arrears and make it more difficult for people to dispute an eviction. North York Harvest Food Bank wrote an open letter to the Ford government calling for parts of it to be repealed. That letter was signed by more than 70 other food bank executives across the province, including the Barrie Food Bank.
Anything that makes housing less affordable or that makes it easier for people to lose their homes means that they're going to have to turn to organizations like ours to be able to meet their basic needs at a time where we're barely keeping up with the demand that we're seeing.
In a statement to CTV News, the Barrie Food Bank estimating that 72% of its clients rent, adding in part, evictions are not just a housing issue, they're a food security issue. Bill 60 has the potential to increase both. While the Sharing Place Food Centre in Orillia was not among the signatures in the North York Harvest letter, Executive Director Chris Peacock says he's behind it.
Homelessness will become more of an issue, more than what we see now, and it's something that it's sad. It's unfair. It's not an equitable bill at all.
In a statement to CTV News by the province, the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing says, in part, that Bill 60 ensures accountability for those who repeatedly abuse the system and create backlogs at the Landlord-Tenant Board. It also ensures families who depend on rental income are able to pay their mortgages, property taxes, and utility bills, which keeps more rental homes available, protecting the long-term stability of Ontario's rental housing supply. But it's not all one-sided. There's an existing shortage of rental supply, and there are unprecedented delays throughout the system.
If you have a tenant that hasn't paid you any rent, you could be waiting up to a year to get a hearing and to get that person out of your home.
Real estate broker Peggy Hill says the bill could increase housing supply and affordability by providing more incentives to build and invest.
We need reform. We absolutely need reform.
The realtors and food banks I spoke with today are unanimous in their call for a system that is more equally fair towards both landlords and tenants. Mike Lang, CTV News, Barrie.
Ontario police say a sweeping raid in Dufferin County uncovered a massive copper theft ring. Police shared this image of what was seized after searching 4 properties. That includes a large quantity of stolen copper wire, stolen power tools, 11 long guns, 6 handguns, and a large assortment of ammunition. They also seized quantities of methamphetamine and cocaine. 6 people have been arrested and face charges. Days after being sentenced to 8 years in prison for dangerous and impaired driving causing a deadly crash in Wasaga Beach, Jefferson Dance wants to appeal the decision. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports.
Jefferson needs to take responsibility for what he did and serve his 8 years.
Jefferson Dance, the man convicted of crashing his Tesla into the back of Jim Lynn's Nissan Juke, April 9th, 2022 along Mosley Street, has filed a notice of appeal, seeking bail pending a hearing with the Court of Appeal.
And now I found out that he's trying to get bail again. He had bail. He did 3.5 years on bail after killing my stepdad. He got to walk. My stepdad didn't get to walk. Jim deserves justice.
Dance filed his notice of appeal 2 days after he was sentenced to 8 years behind bars earlier this month. The 48-year-old from Wasaga Beach was found guilty of dangerous and impaired driving causing Lynn's death. when he reached a top speed of 196 kilometers per hour in his Tesla, with about 4 times the legal limit of alcohol in his system. The appeal claims Justice Mark Edwards rejected Dance's argument that his Tesla Model Y may have malfunctioned the night of the crash, when the court heard Dance, after a night out drinking with a friend, got behind the wheel and traveled at speeds between 160 and 196 kilometers per hour in the moments leading up to the crash. Defense lawyer Robert Gertz told the court there was an ongoing investigation in the U.S. into unanticipated acceleration by the Tesla Model Y. Gertz said Justice Edwards erred in his decision, finding the speeds Dance traveled that night as an aggravating factor in his decision, while not giving appropriate consideration to a letter presented to the court by the defense, claiming the Tesla Model Y may have had a defect similar to what was being investigated in the U.S. Lynn's family angry, imploring Dance to take responsibility for his actions.
My family has suffered enough. Let it be. Just take your time and respect us. That's all we want.
Jim Lynn was 62. The night he died, he was delivering pizzas. The court heard Lynn often drove a shuttle getting people home after a night out drinking. His family wants Dance to stay in prison and serve his sentence for killing Lynn in what Justice Edwards called a senseless and totally avoidable tragedy.
He needs to be behind bars and take responsibility for what he did to my stepdad. He killed him. Enough is enough.
The Court of Appeal confirming Dance now has 90 days to perfect his appeal as he seeks bail early in the new year. Mike Arsledy, CTV News, Barrie.
Ontario serial killer Dylan Millard has been moved from a maximum security prison to a medium security facility, prompting anger from the families of his victims. CTV's John Rao now on the outrage surrounding Millard's transfer.
Dylan Millard is one of the country's most notorious killers who murdered not only his girlfriend, Laura Babcock, but also his own father and Tim Bosma, a complete stranger who was selling a pickup truck. After first being convicted almost a decade ago, Millard's been kept in a maximum security jail. But now Bosma's family say they've been notified he's been moved to medium security. In a statement, the family wrote, "We are disgusted by the news," calling Millard a psychopath monster, and writing Corrections Canada disregarded the feedback provided by our families in response to the possibility of such a move. They went on to say it's an abhorrent transgression, offending all manner of common sense.
Medium security does mean you have greater ability to interact with other prisoners, you have greater ability to engage in correctional programs, but it's no cakewalk, right? It's not like going to day camp.
Experts say it is understandable that the families of the victims would be upset, but say an eventual move to a medium security is typical in a system designed with the idea that inmates may eventually be released. There was national outrage 2 years ago over a similar transfer involving serial killer Paul Bernardo. In a statement, the Correctional Service wrote, "We engage with victims at various points of an offender's sentence and provide them with opportunities to voice their concerns, which are considered. Adding, in all our decisions, public safety remains our paramount consideration." Experts say whether a prisoner remains in maximum or medium security is largely dictated by the risk they pose to other inmates and the public, and not the crimes they committed.
They're still locked up and safe from the community and not likely to escape.
As for Millard, corrections officials say he will be eligible to apply for day parole in 2036 and full parole in 2039. John Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
Ontario's education minister is facing criticism for withholding the results of EQAO tests. The province says the decision was made to take what it calls a deep dive into the numbers. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris brings us more.
How many people had it in both?
It's the education system's annual report card. How well are kids grasping math, reading, and writing?
Soon we'll be releasing the EQAO results, so there's a lot more that has to happen in education to put it all back on the right path.
But the Education Quality and Accountability Office report is usually out earlier in the fall. The Minister of Education says he's been holding it back to do a deep dive and act on what he's seeing.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The minister could release the information and then still analyze it.
The Liberals say the system should be able to walk and chew gum.
I think he's hiding the results because the government's record in education isn't great.
Last year's EQAO results showed fewer students in grades 3 and 6 meeting literacy standards. Math scores were steady or slightly improving, but still low.
It's actually most importantly for kids, their educators, and their families, so they can get the help that they need, if they need it, to learn.
The opposition calls this holdback part of a government pattern.
They do not think they need to be transparent with parents or with educators. They don't think they need to be accountable to us, and information sharing is something that is optional.
The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario describes EQAO results as just a snapshot of one day.
Wanting to take a deep dive or really understand what's happening with a one-time assessment tool is concerning.
Bell believes the minister's time would be better spent taking a whole-of-child approach.
It means smaller classes. It means investing in having more professionals in our classroom so that we have the proper mental health support, so we have the proper professionals besides our educators in the building to help students be successful.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Canada Post is reporting another massive loss, this time for more than $541 million. That's the largest quarterly loss in the company's history. It says ongoing strike activity has driven customers to competitors, and that has led to declining revenues of nearly 40%. Nearly all of the year-to-date losses were incurred in the second and third quarters, reflecting the significant impact the labor uncertainty has had on the business. Canadians are expected to take advantage of Black Friday deals this year. A holiday shopping survey by the Retail Council of Canada and Leger finds most people plan to spend $975 this year on the holidays. 84% of respondents say Black Friday is their most important shopping day, and more than half start researching 1 to 3 weeks in advance. The survey also suggests that more shoppers are returning to brick-and-mortar stores for ideas and those final buys, even though 80% compare prices online before making a purchase. Retail experts say smartphones are playing an increasingly large part in the process.
We're north of 40% now in terms of holiday sales being done on mobile phones, and it allows you to sort of look quickly and compare different things. So, you know, some retailers like Amazon have special days where certain items are only available on their app. They also have Rufus, which is an AI that can help you shop. So we're seeing more Canadians buy on mobile over the last 5 to 10 years.
86% of respondents say they plan to shop close to home, with 84% hoping to buy Canadian. But the survey said price remains the #1 decision that drives those, of course, choices ahead of brand loyalty or location. Now, we'd like you to weigh in on the topic of holiday spending. Visit our website at ctvnews.ca/Barrie. Take our holiday shopping poll. You can tell us how you plan to shop this season, whether it's in stores, online, both, or you'll be skipping gifts this year. Rising tennis star Victoria Mboka was honored with the key to the city of Burlington today. CTV's Sean Leathong has more on the honor and the teen's success.
A tennis star making her hometown proud. Victoria Mboka given the key to the city of Burlington. Then, just 18 years old, Mboka caught the attention of Canadians winning the National Bank Open in Montreal last August. But back home is a place where they know who she was long before professional tennis.
I've always just wanted to win. I was always a very competitive child.
Her family having fled the Democratic Republic of Congo before her birth, they settled in Burlington in 2009. Her earliest coaches could see the competitiveness that would one day make a champion.
The little girl was hungry to play tennis. I mean, from the day she started at 3 or 4 years old, she could not get enough.
But as the crowd came to celebrate the young champion, it's Mboka who's quick to point out those who helped make her.
My great second teachers who's sitting in the red over there. She was my favorite teacher, and she made it so fun for me.
Retired teacher Marie Von Boddicker says she's grateful because she can still see that girl from grade 2 so many years ago.
But I am so proud of what she's become, and it's such an honor to be a part of this journey with her.
The fact that she singles you out.
Oh, that was beyond. It's such a gift to a teacher.
Mboka most recently won the Hong Kong Open in early November for her second title of the year. She's currently ranked number 18 in the world and climbing. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
Next here on CTV Barrie, let's make sure that no one goes cold in the winter weather. This children's charity has been working with local teachers to identify need for nearly 2 decades. We'll let you know how you can help. Plus, it's consignment shopping with a philanthropic flair where you can find the Give Back Rack. Stay with us. Those stories coming up next. Thanks for staying with us. A long-awaited and life-saving asset will soon become a reality in southern Georgian Bay.
I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to the Southern Georgian Bay Airboat Rescue Committee. Your tremendous fundraising efforts and the support from our community mean we are much closer to acquiring a specialized rescue boat to serve the Southern Georgian Bay region.
That's a check for $350,000 raised locally for Tay Township to purchase an airboat and trailer that can be used to make ice water rescues, among other things. The need for the equipment stems from tragic loss along the water during the winter months.
There was an incident in Victoria Harbour where a father and son lost their lives to Georgian Bay. So it hit home to me. It was a big eye-opener to the equipment that we didn't have. So it was important to me if there was a way that we could have changed that narrative, that we do everything within our power to do that.
Craft like this would be the first municipally owned and run craft in the Southern Georgian Bay area. The current method is human-powered, so anywhere from a couple hundred feet offshore becomes a little less effective, and then that crew also has to get themselves back to shore. So having something that's powered, it will be very effective for us.
Training for the rescue teams has already started, and the boat will be housed in the Victoria Harbour Fire Hall, so it's quick to launch and can operate 365 days of the year. The Tom Thompson Art Gallery in Owen Sound has an artistically unique Christmas gift for those feeling like they're up a creek without a paddle. And yes, it literally involves a canoe paddle, but not any paddle. 110 handcrafted paddles and canoes from local artists that you can bid for online. It's all part of the Algonquin Outfitters 2025 Paddle Art and Canoe Mural Auction. Stunning one-of-a-kind original creations and a number of mediums with a portion of the proceeds raised are going to support local artists featured at the gallery.
The money goes towards them. We've had people selecting works throughout the duration of this show, picking their favorite artwork, and that artist receives $1,000. So people need to come in, check out the gallery, cast their vote, and also make sure you visit the website, look at these original paddles. I can't think of a more original gift than
Love that. The paddle art auction closes on November 25th. Every student has the right to feel equal to their peers, and that includes the clothes they wear.
Kept shit with both her hands like this. She said, I had to see you, I had to touch you. I said, love her, didn't I?
Now in its 19th year, the volunteers behind Warm and Cozy Children's Charity have helped dress more than 1,000 youth between 3 and 21 years old with everything they need to feel comfortable and inspired.
When a person has hope, they can dare to dream. And when you dare to dream, amazing things can happen. And we have seen it through these years. We have seen the results of helping and reaching out. And one random act of kindness can truly, truly change a life and save a life.
They don't always have the things they need to be successful. And sometimes that means making the 3-kilometer walk to school in a pair of worn-out running shoes, or coming to school in January with 2 sweatshirts on because they don't have a winter coat. That's a lot of adversity to put in front of a kid who maybe already struggles getting to school.
And teachers like Brad understand which students need some help, and they share that information with the charity. Last season alone, 300 young people were given warm and cozy winter clothing. There is a new way to thrift shop here in Barrie and feel especially good about it.
It's on its way to you. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks. Have a great day.
We did a bunch of purging and bring it to a place where people can use it and give this stuff long life as opposed to land it in a landfill.
But the Give Back Rack isn't an ordinary secondhand shop. It's a nonprofit that both raises money for and directly helps those in need. Like any thrift store, you can come in and find items donated by people, but you should also keep in mind that people stocking the shelves are volunteers. They also work with community organizations to identify people in need.
Clients from the Women and Children's Shelter and Redwood Park communities can get referred to our store and get free store credit to get the items they need. And having a storefront like this gives them the opportunity to shop with dignity and choose their own items at their own, at their own time and when they need it and how they need it.
The small shop on Penetang Street here in Barrie is proof of concept. There are many more groups who would like to refer their clients to the store, but in order for that to happen, they're going to need more community support. More people who use the store, volunteer at the store, and donate to the store, the bigger it gets. Love some consignment shopping. A reminder, if you are looking for additional information, perhaps you'd like to keep up with your news over the weekend. We post both on Saturday and Sunday, ctvnews.ca/Barrie, or use your phone to scan that QR code. Time is running out for your chance to win big in the Princess Margaret Home Lottery. The deadline to buy tickets for the $3 million early bird prize package is upon us. You could win the Muskoka Lakefront Cottage on Lake Vernon in Huntsville, plus $50,000 in cash. Over 13,000 prizes will be awarded in the lottery, valued at over $10.9 million, including the $7 million grand prize, an Oakville show home, plus $500,000 in cash. You can get your tickets now at princessmargaretlotto.com or call the number on your screen. It's the most common question ahead of a weekend with so many Santa Claus parades. Will we have the weather for it? Well, Case, we'll have our full forecast on the other side of the break. Won't you, Case?
I will indeed, and we're at Tile Master right now, collecting for Toy Mountain. Well, some toys right here, already wrapped. Look, 3 big boxes to Jason Loves Santa, 1 little tiny box to Sarah Love Frosty. Unlike the weather or like the forecast. Let's take a look in just a moment. And our weather watcher artiste, Melanie, says, I remember just a month ago it was anything but frosty picking apples in Beaver Valley. Yes, I remember too. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Picture this. Brought to you by Bounce 1041 and Pure Country 106.
The last shot was our choice for Picture of the Week. Thank you to everyone who took the time to send in photos celebrating community. Now, chilly days. The temperatures might not quite be there yet, but we'd love to see shots by the fire, gathering at the cabin, hot chocolate, baked goods, outdoor skating, or even just bundled up for the walk with your dog. You can send those photos, as always. Picture this at ctv.ca. All right, Casey Colby, I understand you're waiting patiently down at Tile Master. What's coming up?
Oh, Christmas is coming up. That's what's coming up. All part of Toy Mountain, and more on that coming up in a few minutes' time with Luke. We're outside. We're talking weather. That's what we're talking coming up right now. And is it frosty? It seems to be the word as far as Sarah's concerned. Frosty. She loves Frosty, and Frosty loves Sarah. However, it's not so frosty yet. Let's talk about the forecast, and here we go, starting with the temperature outside your door as we dive into it. South Central Ontario, gorgeous any time of year. 5 degrees in Toronto, 4 in Newmarket, -1 in Algonquin Park where the wild things are, 5 degrees up Perry Sound Way, and 3 degrees in Owen Sound. I want you to have a look right now. This is the almanac for today. Made it up to 6 degrees, 6 and 3. And a record 18 degrees in 2016, and -19.8, I'll get it right, in 2008, sunrise, sunset, gives us a grand total of 9 hours and 21 minutes of daylight. Roll that forecast radar if you could for me, please, Adam. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, the cloud cover. A chance of some snow or some mixed precipitation, you say? And then, yes, tomorrow it changes. It does. Is there a little bit of sun in the forecast for some? And let's take a look at that. Right now, this is southern tip of Georgian Bay, Lake Simcoe. Overnight temperatures settling in about -2, mainly cloudy skies. And there's a 60% chance of a few flurries this evening, okay? And then for tomorrow, well, highs of 3 degrees and 2 in Midland and Penetanguishene. Cloudy skies. Yes, cloud dominates. And a slight chance of some flurry activity first thing in the morning. Off to Orangeville, Bradford, Georgina, Newmarket, Richmond Hill, where we're looking at -2 degrees overnight under partly cloudy skies. There is a 40% chance of a flurry. No set accumulation, just a flurry kicking around as the winds picking up as the evening progresses. And 4 and 5 degrees for tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies. Slivers of sunshine, yes, as per the forecast radar. There is also a 40% chance of flurry activity first thing in the morning. Now, Parry Sound, Huntsville, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Halliburton, beautiful. -3, -4, -5, -6. And it looks like partly cloudy skies and 60% chance of a flurry for this evening. 1, 2, and 3 degrees tomorrow for your Saturday highs. Mainly cloudy, but moments of sunshine, yes, and a 30% chance of flurries into the morning. That's tonight and tomorrow. Now, time for the Diamond and Diamond Lawyers 5-day extended forecast, and it looks like this. Starting in Simcoe County, there's your Sunday, and there's more cloud. And a 40% chance of a rain-snow combination. I'm leaning more towards a flurry combination, or make that flurries as part of that combination, dominating. And then Monday arrives, sun cloud up to 5. Here comes the rain Tuesday, everybody. 7 degrees for the high and 6 on Wednesday. Cloudy skies, and it looks like mixed precipitation, a 60% chance thereof. This is the 5-day extended forecast for York Region. And Sunday, cloudy skies and 40% chance of showers. Lots going on here at Tilemaster, I might add. And then 6 degrees again on the Monday, and a sun and cloud mix. Up to 8 with showers rolling into the area on Tuesday. And Wednesday, it looks like cloudy skies. Mixed precipitation, 40% chance thereof, a high of 8 degrees again. Muskoka, Parry Sound, Halliburton. And Sunday at this point, well, yeah, cloudy, 30% chance of rain-snow combination. I'm leaning more towards the flurries. And then Monday arrives, high of 4. But sun and cloud, peekaboo all day. Tuesday arrives, everybody gets shower activity. We're very mild, 6 degrees. And 6 degrees again, cloudy skies, 60% chance of a rain-snow combination. As mentioned here at Tilemaster for Toy Mountain. And in the background, there's the all-knowing Martin. There he is, giving us the big wave from Bounce Radio. More about Tilemaster and Toy Mountain coming up just a few minutes' time. Back to Sarah in the newsroom.
I knew he was waiting for someone. Martin always makes his night. Now, of course, as the Toy Mountain campaign continues, important to note that the donations that you make, they do stay right here in our community, both in Simcoe County and Muskoka. In fact, let's head back to Ann Street now. That's where Luke is standing by. I see you're tucked inside by the lovely decorated tree, Luke.
Yes, sir. It's definitely keeping us a little bit more warmer than what it is outside right now. And for more than 2 decades, corporate and community partners have joined forces to create a Toy Mountain. And Tilemaster has been involved for this in so many years. And we're so pleased to be here this evening once again. And we're, of course, joined by Assistant Store Manager Shannon Saunders. Shannon, thank you so much for being with us. And let's just start off by saying, why is this such an important initiative for Tilemaster?
We've always been a part of this campaign. We think it's a wonderful way to start the holiday season, just to bring joy, happiness, community.
Perfect. And why is this such an important campaign for you?
We like to see smiling faces this time of year and to see people bringing in gifts to donate and to make sure that families have a happy Christmas. It just brings a smile to all of our faces and warms our hearts.
Shannon, throughout the evening already, we've seen people make their way here. They've been dropping off toys that continues to build a Toy Mountain. But what is your favorite part, when you're here every day, seeing people drop off their donations?
I think our favorite part of it is seeing children come in with their parents or an aunt or an uncle, a grandparent. They walk in with a toy in hand and you see them place it in the bin. They're giving that to another person, another child. There's nothing better than seeing that, nothing better. How important is it to support those in need this holiday season? It's very important. With the way pricing is and everything, people are struggling, and to make sure that everyone gets a Christmas is the most important thing we can ask for. So we ask for you to donate and make sure that every little kid has something under the tree, and some of the preteens and teens, just as long as everyone smiles on Christmas morning.
Yeah, and you mentioned preteens, and it's going to be more of a focus. Everyone remembers the toys, but we have to remember the teenagers too, who are having a Christmas.
Exactly. There's always a need for the preteens and the teenagers. They seem to get forgotten most of the time at toy time, so if we can expand that and make sure that people remember that, I think that's going to be a great thing for them.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here this evening, Shannon. And as always, it's such a wonderful time to be here at Tilemaster. They're going to continue to collect donations as we make our way through this holiday campaign. And of course, we need to build up that toy mountain, Sarah. So make sure that you make your way into Tilemaster or another partner as well and donate to those in need to support families throughout Simcoe County and Muskoka.
Thanks, Luke. Now, of course, if you're looking for more information on how to help build that toy mountain, you can swing by our station here at 33 Beacon Road. That's in Barrie. You'll see the little toy box out front of the door. Now, if you can't make it in person, you can go online as well. There's the information, ctvbarrie.ca. Turn that click into toys. Now, there's also a list of all the different places that we're going to be live. If you'd like to come down in person and make a little drop-off, again, there's the website, and all the information can be found there. At a time when so many charities are in need, there are dark days ahead for the Red Cross. We're learning why the organization is forced to cut thousands of jobs. Plus, we'll recap tonight's top stories. You're watching CTV News Barrie.
Hey, we're Martin and Steph
from Bounce 104.1.
And next week on the show, we are giving away $200 gift cards to Shoppers Drug Mart.
And tickets to see Strangelove, the Depeche Mode experience.
So tune in weekdays from 5:30 to 10 o'clock on Bounce 104.1.
Recapping our top stories, Jefferson Dance, the man convicted of crashing his Tesla into the back of a vehicle in 2022 in Wasaga Beach, has filed a notice of appeal seeking bail pending a hearing with the Court of Appeal. Dance filed this notice 2 days after he was sentenced to 8 years. Bill 60, proposed by the provincial government, includes changes that food banks say could speed up evictions by giving tenants less time to pay rental arrears. The more than 70 food bank executives, including the Barrie Food Bank, have signed an open letter urging the Ford government to reconsider. Kempenfest, Canada's largest outdoor arts and crafts show, is asking Barrie Council for extra support. The festival draws tens of thousands and brings in over $8 million, but the costs are rising. The councillor raised concerns about future funding, and a city committee has backed a move to a new in-kind tourism grant. The International Committee of the Red Cross is cutting thousands of jobs, citing a drop in donations. The Red Cross says its 2026 budget is roughly $2.2 billion US. That's down 17% compared to this year. The drop means the organization will need to cut about 2,900 jobs. The announcement comes amid a dramatic international and aid funding crisis. Since U.S. President Donald Trump returned to the White House, America has slashed foreign aid spending. The Red Cross says amid mounting geopolitical tension, other major donor countries have been more focused on defense spending. Statistics Canada says the country logged a drop in retail trade back in September. The agency recorded overall sales of $69.8 billion. That marked a decrease of 0.7% compared to August, but it was up more than 3% compared to the year before. The drop was linked mostly to a decline in motor vehicles and auto parts sales. Canada's main stock index started the day of strong bouncing back from the reds thanks to strength in telecommunication and base metal sectors. Here's a look at the numbers. The TSX was up 254 points. The Dow was up 493 and the Nasdaq was up 195. And commodities oil was down, closing at 58.06 a barrel. Gold was up, finishing at 4,079 an ounce, and our dollar was down, ending the day at 70.92 cents US. Well, the phrase, "it takes a village," is true of many things. Let's head back to our toy mountain campaign tonight. Ooh, hello there, Luke. I understand we're going to learn a little bit more about how our media partners are joining and assisting the team.
Yes, Sarah. Well, we're just outside of Tilemaster here on Ann Street. Our access storage van also just showed up. And of course, we're here with Martin Van Coy from Bounce 104.1 to talk more about this Toy Mountain campaign. Martin, we always see so many toys dropped off for all ages. And we love it. We love the donations. But just how important is it to think about the older kids as well throughout this?
I'm glad you mentioned it, because when it comes to a toy drive, one of the overlooked age groups are the older kids. A lot of people are thinking, you know, teddy bears, little board games, things that kids from, I don't know, like 5 to 10 would really enjoy. But you have to remember that there's a lot of preteens, teenagers, and they're more interested in things like, you know, maybe some creams or hair dryers or shaving kits and all that kind of stuff that, you know, you might have wanted when you were 16, 17. I don't know about you, but something like a razor, especially an electric one, can be pretty expensive, and it might be a nice little gift to find under the tree for somebody who's a little bit older than 10 or 11.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, donations matter. Donations matter, all kids, all ages, to continue helping us build up that toy mountain. Sarah, you're going to say it with me one day. I promise you that. I'll send it back to you.
You've got some work ahead of you on that one, Luke. Thanks very much to Luke and Martin. Now, the Field of Dreams is making a comeback, but I'm afraid no Kevin Costner this time. Instead, Major League Baseball will fill the iconic field. Which teams will light up the diamond next here on CTV News, Barry? Time now to take a look at your Friday night primetime lineup. Star Wars Episode 2, Revenge of the Sith, starts at 8, followed by CTV News Barry at 11 p.m. The Raptors will be going for a 6th straight win when they take on the Washington Wizards tonight.
They've won 4 straight sets. Quick, the thrift. Rack it up. I'll take it.
The team is coming off a 121-112 win over the Philadelphia 76ers on Wednesday. The Raps are in 2nd place in the Eastern Conference. Tip-off for tonight's game against Washington set for just after 7:30 p.m. at Scotiabank Arena. Toronto Scepters are set to begin their regular season tonight.
Just floated through. Monroe now sets it up. Scores! Ellie Monroe!
The team went undefeated in their 2 preseason games against Ottawa. The Scepters will play their first regular season game away from home, facing off against the Minnesota Frost. Puck drop set just after 7 p.m. for that game. Major League Baseball is returning to that special cornfield in Iowa next summer. The league announced a 3rd Field of Dreams game for next August, where the Philadelphia Phillies will face the Minnesota Twins. The first Field of Dreams game was back in 2021 between the Chicago White Sox and New York Yankees. The site of the game is the same as the 1989 movie of the same name, starring Kevin Costner. Let's head back out to the 2 lads, Casey and Luke. Have you been behaving tonight?
Always. We're always behaving all the time, and our elves are just helping load up. Look at this. We're loading up the van. We're taking everything over to Access Storage from Tile Master, all the collections from Toy Mountain. As we've been out here, people have been coming up and handing some things to us, some of them even toys, and which we're keeping. And tell us, where are we next, Mr. Samard? Where are we next?
Yeah, so Casey, what a fantastic night here at Tile Master. We saw so many donations, people come by, and of course, next week we'll be at Canadian Tire in Midland to bring in all these toys, all these donations. Sarah, I've been working on getting Case to say it with me, to build the what? To build the toy mountain. He did it. He did it.
I got half of it anyway. I'll give you the half of the mountain, but I'll give you the full get up and go forecast. And this is what it looks like first thing tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Have a look. And as we take a look, well, we're looking at cloudy skies and a chance of a few flurries coming down at 7 o'clock in the morning. -2 in Barrie, -2 in Newmarket. Could be seeing a flurry too under cloudy skies. And Gravenhurst at 7 a.m. The coolest at -4, but a peak of sunshine. Have yourself a great weekend. Sarah.
We are out of time. I'll be back with you tonight, though, at 11. Take care.